I gotta ask you this question.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to be going to a commercial break, but I'm going to give you this question now, so you're going to have a few minutes to think about it.
Okay.
One of the reasons guys love learning pickup lines is that it's easier. It's a lot easier to memorize a decent line than it is to work on their own vibe, which leads me to my next question for you that we're going to answer after the next commercial break. What do you say to the guy that has no concept of how to vibe?
Okay.
When I was in my own development, learning to vibe with women was only something that I was able to do or even able to grasp only after I got my first harem.
Great question. I can't wait to get to it.
It was only after it's like, okay, I'm dating 5 women, I'm juggling the schedule. Hey, that's when I realized that I knew how to vibe. But prior to that, I'm just following certain behaviors that are getting me the results.
Right.
So, a guy's sitting there, he's in front of you, he has no concept of how to vibe, he's never vibed, like yourself maybe, he might be in his early 20s, he still never has gone out with a girl that he's really liked. What do you say to him about learning how to vibe from Michael the Dating Wizard? And we'll have his answer about how guys can develop their own sense of vibe right after this.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by the Adult Male Virgin Seminars and Telephone Consultations. If you are an adult and want to get a handle on this once and for all, you need this seminar. Being an adult male virgin can be most stigmatizing in today's society. You feel like a failure in the eyes of the mass culture around you, alienated from your male friends who all talk about their sexual conquests, and you must hide this shameful secret lest they use it against you. And the very personal pain, anguish, and despair that cannot be described by words that haunts you every moment of your life. Enough is enough. It is time for male virgins to take charge of their sex lives. Frank gives you the rules of winning in this seminar. The Adult Male Virgin Seminars and Telephone Consultations. Make your first time the best time of her life. Only available at franktalks.com. Frank helps adult boys turn into men.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by From Loser to Seducer by Frank B. Kermit. Ladies, is there a man in your life that got dumped for being clingy, needy, or was told he was a loser, but you still think he's a nice guy and want to help him? He could be a relative or even a friend, and you know he needs the help. Do you want to be the one to give him the gift that will change his life forever? How about the gift of a great biography? Buy him the book, From Loser to Seducer by Frank B. Kermit. It is the story of a nice guy who triumphs over his inner demons to find his own hidden power. Help the nice guy in your life discover his inner seducer to find his soulmate. Buy this book now at franktalks.com.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test, a man's guide to the emotional needs of women. What would your life be like if you knew exactly what to say and do with women? Learn how to handle women's tests by addressing her emotional needs. By this, you create the type of attraction that will make her see you as the one. This book is a guide for men to understand exactly what a woman means when she speaks. Is that worth changing your life forever? Buy this book at franktalks.com now.
You're listening to Frank Talks, Pleasures and Lifestyles. I'm Frank because I have to be. We're in studio with Michael, the Dating Wizard. How you doing there, Michael?
I'm good. I really appreciate the vibe here. It's really great.
I'm glad you do. Now, before the last commercial break, I had posed a very important question to Michael. What do you say to the guy who's never been able to vibe with women, has no concept what his own vibe is, doesn't know where to start, has no experience, and is now required to use that instead of the all-too-easy pickup line? Michael, what do you say to that?
Okay, so this is like a lot of things in life, where they ask you, is the answer A, B, C, or D? And it's like, or all of the above. So it's going to be all of the above. So let me give a few steps over here. One of the first things before getting vibe is to get a picture of reality. Because if a guy has the wrong map, the wrong picture of what even is going on in the first place, it's like speaking the wrong language. So, if I'm speaking the wrong language, it's just not going to get through. And so what I mean by that is, the guy has to get the fact that women don't like pushover men, okay? They don't like jerk-offs either, but they really don't like pushover men. So the guy's got to get that through his brainwashed, conditioned past, which means if he sees a girl excuse me, may I, can I, do you think it's okay if I talk to you vibe. You know what I mean? All those thoughts have to be obliterated. So even though he may feel like he wants to do that, he's got to realize that won't work. Right there is just the beginning of something that will help him with his vibe. The other thing is, and I want to bring this up too, because to give balance, being in a good mood is really important. It's not the whole game. But let me just give a quick example right here. And that is, let's say I'm about to say, the apple is red. So I can say that in an upbeat tone. Hey, the apple is red. But it's not dominant. But it's better than being bitter. So let's say I want to add a layer of dominance. The apple is red. Okay? Now I want to add a bit of playfulness. The apple is red. And a bit of sensuality to it. The apple is red. Just from that alone, from your voice alone, a woman can tell a ton of information about you. So a guy needs to learn to focus on his voice. He needs to learn to focus not on necessarily sounding like Barry Manilow, but on thinking about, am I projecting good things through my voice? He's got to start doing that. If it means going in front of the mirror and practicing, that's good. Talking to a tape recorder, that's good. Because it's not just about the fact that it sounds good. It's about the fact that when you are talking this way, you will start to feel good too. Because our physiology, in other words, our state, our posture, the way we're using our voice, the way we're holding ourselves, standing up straight, actually affects the way that we feel. And that includes the way that we're talking, the way that we use our voice. So a guy's got to start to do this. He's going to go out, he has no clue of vibe, okay. Listen to your own voice, I tell the guy. Now, talking to a tape recorder, does that sound like a guy who's sexual, dominant, and playful? If not, go back and do it again. So this too will help him with his vibe. A third thing that will really help him with his vibe, this is huge. He doesn't have to go out and pick up women tonight, but go out with a guy who does. Just he can keep his mouth shut, zipped up if he wants us to worry about any rejection whatsoever. Look at what's going on. Notice what a real successful conversation looks like. And notice that it's not about the magic pickup line. Right? Notice what's going on emotionally. Notice how the guy calibrates so that he's getting the girl laughing or getting the girl excited, getting the girl interested by the things that he's talking about, which is a huge topic in itself. But also how he's calibrating so that if he offended her, he knows how to kind of bring it back a little without coming across as a pushover. And how he knows how to kind of juice it up a little.